This is my raised platform with plants on it, and it blows water in on these plants, and it's kitchen waste, and it's eggshells and broken up plants and some weeds and stuff, and the water drips down through it, comes out through little holes in the bottom, and then it drips down to the bucket down here. I usually have it fuller, and so part of the water comes up to here, and the other part, so it's just with an airlift pump, which is just pipes joined together. And here we go, I'm going to show you the pipes. So this is all it is, just pipes joined together. So one pipe comes out of the bottom, or well, both pipes come out of the bottom of the can and come around, and air goes in here, and then the water gets pumped up by the air all the way up to here, and then when it gets high enough, it's like a Chinese boar scare, and it will tip, and it will tip in here, and then there's little holes in this pipe, and it will water the plants. So the pipes go along to the end and water the plants. Now at the end, there's a little stopper on both sides, and so there's a little stopper here as well. So I just use anything I can find as a stopper, and this is just a little piece from an old pen. So that's the stopper here, and occasionally, maybe once every couple of weeks, I stick this into it and squeeze it a few times, because sometimes the air holes I put in this were a little bit small, and the holes to let out the water were a little bit small. So I should have made them a tiny bit bigger, but I didn't, and they don't let they can get blocked a little bit. So now I'm just going to come over here, and this is almost full, so we're just going to wait for it to tip. Should take a few more seconds to tip over, and this is all on the timer, so I just turned it on now, but it only comes on once, maybe for 15 minutes every couple of hours, so it's not using a whole lot of power. So it's a little air pump inside, and just wait for it to tip over. It's gradually filling up, and this is the color of the water now. It's if I just left this running, it would, without having it going to the plants, it would be a different color. It'd be black. But because it's going to the plants, and the plants are using the, it's getting sieved through the soil or washed through the soil, it's much cleaner. I have this here to stop mosquitoes. So it's a piece of mosquito net on top. So any second now it's going to tip. So I missed the last time it tipped, so I cheated by adding a little water. It should tip very soon. And you can hear it coming out into the holes in the pipe, and lots of it goes on the plants, and So we also have this here. This is an aerobic setup, and if I open this up, there's little flies and things in it, which some people may or may not like, flies and larvae, and they eat the plant material and poop it out, and it goes in here and then gets pumped up to the plants. But so I've showed you this already, the airlift pumps. So I've got small holes in here that let out water to the airlift, and here's another of the airlift pumps. So there's one for here and one for there, and so this is people actually, when I first showed this online, people complained about it a little because it was aerobic, and some people said they'd like it to be anaerobic. And yeah, so I thought, well, why not do something that will do everything? And this can here, we can just pop something over the top of it, and we can have it. Let's say we wanted to drown all the poor little insect larvae, we would just have this pipe here up to the top, and then we can fill the whole thing. So we have the pipe to here, drill a little hole here, and we can fill the whole thing with water, and we can fill it right to the top and put this up to here, so it can be filled right with water, or it can be, if you want it running like the other one, we can put that in there, and we have where we have the water hole. So there's the water hole, so we would just put it up here. I think I'll actually do it. So I've got it set up now with the water coming up and into this, and I made a mistake, I put this at the wrong side, but if we wanted to fill it right up with water, we would just put that up here and put the lid on, and then it can fill entirely up to the top with water, and anything in will die. Any insect larvae in there, most of them will die, except the ones that can live underwater. And alternatively, we can run it anaerobically by putting this down here and having this we can fill it full of plants. Now down here I have this as a filter, so it's not much, it's just part of a pop can with some fruit, this plastic mesh stuff that you buy fruit in, and you just with one hand it's a little bit awkward, just push it down in here, and that'll mean that when you put plant material over it, the water can still go down through and out. And if you want to, this means you can run it aerobically or anaerobically. So you can just put the top on it, and I made a mistake. Just put this down to the ground there like that. I'm gonna fix it. Anyway, because you are an organic terrace gardening group, I think this might be kind of the type of thing you're looking at or looking for. So we can close off the top of it. We can have a lid on it if we want, and fill it up with any type of compost you like. You might choose not to. You might choose to have it totally full of plants and water, or you might choose to have just a small dribble of water at the bottom, like this. Or, you know, if it's totally full, you just bring it up to here somewhere and it'll fill right up. So yeah, I think there's quite a few choices. You can have it down here, up here, or right up at top, like that. So yeah, it can be done for whichever, because I think if this is full of water and you only have this going a few times a day, you might end up with like you would put this down to here, say, no, down here, that's lower than that. So that means your water would be up to here. The top little bit would be aerobic and all the rest would be anaerobic, and your plants would you know, rot under anaerobic conditions. Or you could have it anaerobic for a couple of days, then let out all the water and run it aerobically. That might be a quicker way to do things. So lots of options. Anyway, I'm going to stop it here. The light is disappearing. We'll just flip it over. You can hear it watering the plants. So I've just dug out the material that was in the little bucket, and you can see there's a slug there, and you'll see other stuff too. You can see there's a couple of worms. There's a worm there, and so quite a lot of material went fairly rotten, even though it was aerobic. There's more worms at the bottom, and here's the material that I just dumped out into the water. And so there's leaves and there's eggshells, and it's been in here for about a month and a half, something like that. I have to check my other videos to find out. But there's worms in here too. They're just after sneaking down through it fairly rapidly. And then there's some worms there. And there's the water level. So I'll just see what will happen. I guess these are sacrificial worms. I don't like killing worms and stuff. But I shall fill it up with water to the top. Put the lid on. Give it a few days. And then start working aerobically again. Lid on. And so it'll work anaerobically for a few days, and then back to aerobic.